Hello, good day, afternoon, everybody. So, where is everyone watching me from? Where are you watching from? I hope you are good. So, today's webinar is going to be this is my very best strategy. It's actually one of my favorite. It's what I use normally before I say anything. This is my very best strategy. This is what I normally follow anytime I have to trade. At least I need to see signs that this is something which is happening on that chart. So what I'm coming at is this: breakouts. What I trade normally is breakouts, but how I trade it is I trade when there is false breakout. So I look for breakouts, yes, but I only trade when there's false breakouts. So first of all, let's define what a breakout is, then we can now look at what a false breakout is so that we understand exactly what I'm saying. So assuming you have a level like this, you have maybe some resistance level at this price 1.33023, you have something like this, then the price comes from the lower side, approaches this level slowly, and then bounces off from that level to the lower side, then it bounces off again from the lower side to the same place, and then it bounces off again. If in the future the price comes to the same point and breaks and closes above it, like we've seen here, if the price opens below and then it closes above the same level, then that becomes a breakout. So anytime you have a single level, the price keeps bouncing off from that level. Maybe like in this case, we have two scenarios: the price has bounced off from the same place, then all of a sudden it breaks and closes beyond it. That close is known as a breakout. The idea normally whenever you're doing breakout is you're not supposed to enter trade just because there's a breakout. That the price has closed above a level is not a clear sign that you should now begin to enter trades instantly. No. There are things which must happen. For you to say that this is actually a genuine breakout. So the first thing which must happen is you want to see sustenance, signs that the price is sustaining itself above this level. So what I mean by sustenance is if you begin to see like signs that the price is struggling, that is, it keeps bouncing off from the same place, something like this, you keep seeing price keeps struggling, you see consolidation, like it moves up, moves down, moves up, moves down, you can see numerous small candles, or you see several indecision candles just after the breakout, then those are signs that somehow this breakout is genuine. So as long as there is no candle which is closed below 1.33023, that breakout remains to be a genuine breakout. It remains to be a very genuine breakout. So whenever you have a level like this, and the price opens below it and then it closed beyond it, that breakout is that move is known as a breakout. And as I've said, we don't just enter trades because there's a breakout. No, we want to see sustenance. You want to see struggling, you want to see consolidation, you want to see indecision candles above that level, you want to see inside bar candles above that level, and even if there's an engulfing candle, it has to be above that level. Does that make sense, whatever I'm saying? So we don't just enter trades simply because the price has broken above. No, you have to wait to see sustenance, that is some signs that the price is not able to get itself again below that level, because in most cases the price will move up then again break below. So if you took a buy position at this point, it's a risky buy. So this is an example of a bullish breakout. Let's look at a case for a bearish breakout. So we still have the same line here, then the price approaches this line from the upper side, the price approaches this level from the upper side, like it moves like this to the same point, and then bounces off from that point like this, and then it continues to the same place, then you see again a move to the upper side. So if the price somehow breaks and closes below this point, that is, if you see a clear breakout below 1.38947, the fact that the price has closed below this line is a sign that this is a breakout. But to confirm that this is indeed a breakout, a true breakout, you want to see sustenance. What I mean by sustenance is signs that the price is not able to get itself above this point, 1.38947. So while we see price below this point, that is, you continue to see sustenance below this point, you see struggling, you see price do something like that, it goes up, then comes back to the same point, then it begins to struggle below the same place, then this gives us a good sign to look for a sell. This gives us the best opportunity to look for a sell position. So this struggling is really important. It's really, do not overlook it. Do not overlook this formation. Anytime you have a clear level, then the price breaks below that level, and then you begin to see struggling. Check in the past, just before the breakout. Check to ensure that previously we had a similar struggling. So it's like previously we were struggling above this level, now we are struggling below the same place. It's a good sign that somehow the break which happened from this point to this point is actually a genuine breakout. So your best thing to be doing is to be looking for positions. Keep looking for sell orders. But you'll keep looking for sell orders. Anytime the price approaches the same line, you look for a sell. When the price approaches the same line, you look for a sell. And as long as the price continues to struggle below that place, this remains to be the correct place to sell from. Your stop loss must be above the previous consolidation, which is here. Does that make sense, whatever I'm saying? So you want to see sustenance. This is what qualifies a breakout to be a breakout. You want to see sustenance. You want to see struggling. Struggling is a sign that we may sustain that breakout. Okay, let us get a real example so that we first of all clear up the path for breakout. Okay, so look at this level here. Okay, you may not understand it properly, but look at how it looks. Look at how much the price struggled below this level. From this point, we had this resistance, we had this resistance, we had a resistance level here, we had a resistance here, we had a resistance, and then there is this breakout. After the breakout, the price came back to the same place but could not close below it. So this gave us the correct place to look for a buy from. So this is an example of a genuine break. When the price breaks a level, then it begins to struggle above that level, or you begin to see indecision candles above that level. This is an example of an indecision candle. This one is an example. This is a doji. This is a pin bar, bearish pin bar. Then this is an example of an indecision candle. What it means is the price is basically, we are undecided. We don't know exactly whether to continue up or to continue down. But since this is a breakout, there's an edge for the buyers. The price may likely continue to the upper side. Let's get another example. Let's see. We should have one here. So we'll just a second. Let's see. Okay, look at this level here. It may not be a very clear one, but it's still a good one. Look at this from this point. There was this breakout, the price opened here, it went up below to this point. There was this pullback, it went down, it came back, it went down, then it came back, it went down, then there is this breakout. So when the price opens below a level and then it closes above that level, that becomes a breakout. But we don't just buy immediately because it's a breakout. No, you have to wait to see sustenance. Sustenance is basically you are seeing signs of struggling. That is signs that the price is struggling to close below, but it ends up closing above. Like the first one is this. The next candle opened here, then it struggled to go below, but it closed above. The same thing happened here. It went as low as this point, but ended up closing above. The same thing closing above, the same thing it closed above, the same thing it closed above. These are very, very good signs that somehow we are still continuing upwards. They are very, very, very good signs that somehow you're supposed to keep looking for more buy positions. These are buy position and these are buy positions. hope this makes sense. I hope this makes a lot of sense for us. These are very, very good buy positions. So you keep looking for, as long as the price keeps touching this level but does not close below it, instead it closes above, keep looking for buy positions. Do not overlook the power of tails, and also not overlook the power of breakout. If the price has closed above a level, then you see such type of struggling, be sure to pick that trade. Be sure to pick. It's always the correct time to look for a trade. So we now look at our main topic for the day, which is false breakout. So what is false breakout, and how do we exactly trade false breakout? So we are dealing with breakouts. That's why we have to introduce breakout first of all. Don't forget that. Assuming you have a level like this level here, then the price moves to this point, to the same place, and then it bounces off from this level to the lower side. It gets back to the same place, then bounces off to the lower side, then it comes back up. Sorry, this is too far. Sorry, we have that, and then the price comes back and then breaks beyond this level. So the definition of false breakout is relative. Like, people define it differently. For me, a false breakout is when price breaks and closes above a level but does not sustain that breakout. That becomes a false breakout. So if you have a level which the price has gone above but has not sustained that breakout, a candle must have closed above that level so that it's a genuine breakout, then it fails to sustain that breakout. That becomes a false breakout. So when you have like this, the price has opened here and closed above, if instead of giving us signs that the price is sustaining itself above this level, it basically pulls back down and closes below the same place where we wanted to buy from, you can see that a candle has typically closed below it. That becomes a false breakout. The fact that the price opened opened below here, closed here, then again opened there and closed below, the move which we had to the upper side, this entire move becomes the false breakout. This becomes the false breakout. So you should not just enter trades immediately there's a false breakout. No, wait for price to come back to the same place, pick a sell position here, have your stop loss at this point, and then have your take profit where this move started. Does this make sense for us? Do you understand exactly whatever I'm looking at? So when you have a level and the price has broken above that level, if the price cannot sustain itself beyond this line, instead it closes below, the move which we had to the upper side, that is the false breakout. And how to trade is this: wait for price to extend down, to continue down, place a pending sell limit, have your stop loss above this point, and then have your take profit at 1.29856. Does this make sense for us? Does it make sense? Does it make sense? Okay, this is an example of a bullish false breakout. Let's look at the example of a bearish false breakout. Okay, we also have a level here. We assume this is a level, this is a good horizontal level. Then the price keeps coming to the same point, and then it bounces off from that point to the upper side. Then it goes to the lower side, and then it continues up. Then it comes to the lower side. Then somehow it opens somewhere there and then closes below. So this, first of all, is a breakout. So as I said before, the definition of false breakout is relative. People define it differently, but from my experience, a false breakout is when the price closes below or above a level, then does not sustain that breakout, which means it pulls back again to the other side. So like in this case, if the price opened here and closed here, if it again moves from this point and closes below, that entire move to the lower side becomes the false breakout. So if in the future you see something like this, that the price has pulled back up and closed beyond this point, then the entire move which you had, this becomes the false breakout. This becomes the false breakout. So you should not just enter trade immediately. Instead, wait for price to pull back to the same point then pick a buy position, expecting that buy to take us up to this point, which means we are supposed to have your stop loss at this price, 1.37666 here. So you'll place a pending buy limit while the price is here. Place a pending buy limit here, have your stop loss below this point, and have your take profit at 1.46279. Is that correct? Does that make sense? So this is basically how I trade false breakout. You wait for the false breakout to form immediately. After that, that's when you enter trades immediately. So another definition of false breakout is this: if you have, maybe you have something like this, maybe this is a good level here, then you see that the price keeps coming back below it. This can as well be a definition. When the price goes below but close above, this is a false breakout. When the price opens here, here, goes as low as below this line but close above, that's a false breakout. The same thing happens here, the same thing happens here, the same thing, the same. So how you define it is relative. If this is a daily chart, if you check maybe 1 minute chart while this was happening, you could see that these were actually real life candles. You would see that they are real actual candles, and what they mean is that the price is continuing upwards. That's what they mean, that the price is still continuing upwards. So if you can identify like a false breakout on a higher time frame, be sure to check the same thing on a lesser time frame. Still makes more sense. Don't forget that. Just ensure that you are checking the same thing on a higher time frame. It makes more sense. So we'll look at one example. Well, let's see. Okay, this one. Look at this. Look at this level here. This is a very good resistance level zone. It was used here. Then you can see that there is actually a big breakout. So what do you see next? The price moves up, and then it opens here, then closes below. Now the move which you had to the upper side has now turned into false breakout. This one. So you don't just enter immediately here. Place a pending sell limit there. Have your stop loss there. Have your stop loss above the highest high you can see of the false breakout, and then your take profit needs to be here. It sold here, the price continued, then it came back, it sold again, and then it went and hit your take profit. So these were good entries. These are very good places where anyone could have taken a position from. And if this one could have come back to the same point, then this could have been a good place to look for a sell from. Are we on the same page? Are we on the same page? I hope that makes sense. So we'll look at the next example. There's another one here, like just a resistance here. It was like a resistance zone, a resistance zone, a resistance zone. There's a breakout, and then there's another pullback. So this one went wrong because the price went down, then it came back. It went down slightly before eventually breaking above. So it continued up instead of going our way. But this is not a very good resistance, of course. So let's check another example. Okay, look at this here. Look at how perfect this breakout was. It was a support here, a support there. We had a support, and then the price opened here, then closed below. It opened here, and then it closed below. After that, it used this as a resistance, then there's another breakout. So in this case, it looks as if the false breakout was actually very big. The entire move which we had to the lower side, this was actually a false breakout because the price did not sustain itself. So we are supposed to have bought here. Our take profit is here. It was hit definitely here. So you could have bought it there, let it run just the next 4 hours, and you have your take profit. Are we good? Does it make sense whatever I'm saying? So basically, this is how I trade false breakouts. I don't just, you must not sell immediately because there's a false breakout. No. You have to wait for pullback. Normally begin trading from a key level going in a particular direction. Do not just enter trades because there's a level. No. Wait for price to test that level. You want to see struggling. You want to see good signs that the price is going to go that direction. That's the only time when trading becomes nice. You want to see struggling. You want to see clear signs. If you wait for that, you're good. I hope that makes some sense. I hope that makes a lot of sense for us. It should make a lot of sense. So let's see if we can get another example. Okay, they may not be very many, but look at this here to tell you that they're there. Okay, previously we had a resistance zone here. There is a breakout. The price continued up. It came back down, closed below it, tried retracing, it continued down, then it came back again. So the entire move which we had to the upper side, this one, is actually a false breakout. So it may not look like it's a false breakout, but in truth it's actually a false breakout because the price could not sustain itself above that level. It instead pulled back to the lower side and is still somehow below the same place. Are we on the same page? So thank you very much. That should bring us to the end of today's analysis. So if by any chance you missed this, just know it's being recorded. It's in a high quality. You'll still be able to get it. You just need to get maybe you log in again and check. It will be there on YouTube. So thank you very much. See you.